Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM22. It's Youth Factory. We are on episode number 15. Last time we started our first season amongst a competitive level, as in we're not going to steamroll the league. The league's not going to steamroll us. But we're actually going to have some wins and some losses along the way. Well, with that in mind, let's now finally, for the first time, as it's already 2027, dive into a comparison. Let's see how the team actually stacks up comparatively to the league. And when you look generally, for one thing that really stands out to me is we're not the youngest team. Amazingly, we are not the youngest team out there. Now, we are well below league average. That doesn't surprise me. The oldest team is an average age of 30. But the youngest team, and this does make a certain amount of sense, Grorud 3, it's essentially their U19 squad. And so their average age is 16. It is a youth team, but it's a youth team at a higher level. And it's a youth team that's competing here. So they're better than my youth team. Training facilities, folks, training facilities. I'm getting really good intake players, but that still doesn't mean that we're the best in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, we cruise through a few levels, but it's on. It's our forward progress has stalled, and we're gonna have to figure out how to regain forward progress or how to do other things. We'll get to those a little bit. We're very short. We're very light. Average salary, not the bottom of the league. I have been increasing it steadily, and it is there. So we do have an average player salary that is a bit beyond the bottom, but a bit below average. Not far, really, not far below. Now you can see we're still in the better part of the league. There's a reason why we were picked to finish a little bit higher up. Decision making, not far above average, but is above average. First touch, well below, above average in the league. Passing, strength, slightly below average. Leadership, that makes sense that that's only about average, as we are very, very young, and leadership often comes with age. Here's our biggest issue: goalkeeping. We are so bad in goalkeeping. I have 5 goalkeepers. None of them are good. I have 2 that are tolerable, and our best one is young, and I've been trying to get him loaned out and see if we can get somebody to where he could go and develop and come back a year from now and take over as starter and then get rid of Stensby Jakobsen. And I've had a price tag of about 50K on him, and nobody's taken on that. So we might have to just kind of get on with it and sell him, because he is hurting us at the moment. He's had a couple really bad performances to start the season. 6 games in, I think. Defense is fairly good. A couple average attributes, but otherwise higher end, not great. And defense is not my strong suit. Midfield, definitely a little bit stronger. Everything above average, even though most of it is only slightly. And we top the league in technical ability. In the attack, it's finishing, amazingly, because 5.44 is not good. That's not a good rating, but somehow it's on top. Of course, that's finishing for the entire team, not just the strikers. Physically, quite a few at league average attributes there. Mentally, we are pretty strong, and that's a good sign. That's definitely a good sign. We're very brave compared to everybody else. And you can see where those technical abilities shine. Penalty taking, overall technique, finishing, dribbling, crossing, all the highest, heading, close. First touch, close. So there's our strength. There's our advantage over the rest of the league. And we are kind of exploiting that tactically. So we should see some results. But we're definitely hurting in a few ways. Honfas, well over 500,000. Grorud, appearing on the charts twice, not sure how that happened, but Kongsvinger, they're all seeing 300,000 plus. We do have increased income this season, about 10,000 more than it was a year ago, and it's still only 63K. Now, considering where our sponsorship money is, I think our salary is right where it belongs right now. But again, it's been increasing, and as I go to re-sign new guys again, if we're still at this level, I'll keep my salary at the same level. But those that are getting into the final year of their contract will have better contracts than what they had previously. And anyway, we're near the bottom of the lake, but you can see there's still an amateur side, right? We've been semi-pro for ages now, but looking around us, it's all semi-pro at this point, other than one. And you can see that we're pretty low on the salary table. There's one massive standout. The team that we opened the season with that ended up clobbering us, they have an absolutely massive salary that is 5 times the second highest in the league. That's a team with some quality on it. I don't know what their senior team is, but dang. I mean, this is a club that looks like it's going to cruise to that number 1 position, meaning we're not really looking to do much this season. But looking at these, right, we've got the Grorud, same salary. Maybe that's the parent club, because there's your amateur and your 3. Here's an amateur and a 2. Same salary. So it makes me wonder if what you're actually looking at is not the salary of the club here, but the salary of the club, the larger club, the parent club in general, which would then make a certain amount of sense. The spending $200,000 was not down to these guys, but up to the parent clubs. Now, that means that some of those players could be down here. And this team that was not picked to do well suddenly has a couple of young, quality youth players that are playing down here to develop and are much better quality than what this league could or should have. And therefore, we'll see them promoted next season, as it's a much bigger club compared to, well, the league it's participating in. Very well could be the case. Another sign of our worrying times, even with only 1 sale, we top the league in net spend, and again, just the one team with any spend at all. Lowest attendance? Yeah, that's us. That's us. Average attendance? Yeah, us. We might be getting capacity, but we're dead last in the league in attendance. Something has to change for us. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble. And again, I'm starting to think about those options. And meanwhile, I'm also enjoying seeing this. Lilyhammer. There's a show. Netflix original show. Gosh, how many seasons was it? 3 seasons? 4 seasons? Mostly comedy. A little bit drama. A little bit action. It's like New York Mob meets Norwegian Lilyhammer. Name of the show is Lilyhammer. Takes place in, yeah, you guessed it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's not the greatest show I've seen, but it was one of those that I had to see all the way to the end. But you can see attendance alone, percentage of capacity. Kongsvinger is 95%. I mean, they're nearly maxing out their stadium. 4 matches, no sellouts, but they are, oh my goodness. Imagine the money we'd be bringing in from that. It's crazy. The amateur team outdoing the level 3 team. That's also crazy. And this is the full amateur squad, right? Not just the amateurs that aren't good enough to be on contract with a club that, are still attached to the club, the supporters team, but the actual amateur club bringing in 1,800 fans. I feel like we're in trouble. I feel like we could be in this division for a while. I really do, especially when literally one team gets the nod to go forward out of 29, 30 clubs across these divisions, and only one team goes up. Is there going to be another one of these next year? Or is there going to be one of these next year, right? Either way, it's going to be hard for us. It's going to be difficult to get out of here. We may not be topping the table but we are topping the possession charts. So we are playing our style effectively, 59% of the possession. But again, there's just too many good teams here that I think are going to prevent us from seeing promotion this season at least. Which means what we do need is we need some development. And we need some finances. Yeah, where's that going to come from? Selling one player didn't really take care of anything. Remember, that's not even covered much at all compared to what we've lost this year. Compared to where we were just in October, now to May, we're right back to just about $250,000 in debt. So I've only played 5 matches so far, but we have 3 wins from those 5, only a +2 on the goal differential. It has been a somewhat tough start to the season. 6th place out of 15, and we sit behind a number of top sides. And amazingly, the pure amateur club, right there, 3-3. I mean, they're hanging in there. Anyway, we've got a game in hand on most of the teams around us. That could be useful, but it could prove to be nothing. A win at the moment without others playing would see us in 3rd place. I'd much rather be there. But anyway, that Kongsvinger with 6 wins and 1 draw. Jeez, +19 goal differential. They look like us. They look exactly how we've looked in previous seasons. Other than, they have payroll, they have budget, they have fans. We do have a building reputation. I checked a little bit ago. We're at 1,300 out of 10,000 now. Last time we checked, it was had just topped 1,000. Hasn't gone up much in the last year, but it's gone up a little bit. And while we keep climbing the ladder, I think it's quite clear this is not the season that we climb. One good sign though, Lovas, 4 goals from 5 matches played. We are scoring. Snellingen, 8.12 rating. He's getting picked by the assistant manager, so we are seeing some successes out there, and the team's not that bad, but it's just going to come down to, if we're not moving, if we're not climbing the ladder, and we're only just getting 100,000 in terms of offers, and that's not really covering the debt that we're incurring, it's going to be challenging to go anywhere from here other than see some sort of board takeover or some sort of administration take place, because otherwise we're just going to keep incurring debt, or hand of God stadium expansion, hand of God $1 million in the bank, something, right, to trigger some ability to make progress. And we now sit 5th place in the league after 7 matches played. A lot of our opponents have played more matches than us, but we are on the road today at the 7th place side, who sit just a single point behind us. Not going to be an easy test here on the road. Let's see how we do. We are in purple for this one, our road purples. And through the first 5 minutes, we flipped the possession quite quickly from what it was. Neither team picking up much XG here early on, though both teams have managed to get a couple shots off anyway. Nothing unusual to the side that was selected today. This is your pretty standard side, and Bergam goes really close. That is our young intake guy who's been off to a pretty solid start. And one thing I have noticed about Bergam, as he bangs that one off the post, one thing I noticed about Bergam is his set piece abilities. Corners, free kicks, penalties. He is good at all of those things. Bergam is the best player that we have had in terms of current ability upon entry to the team. He's not the best player right now. That is Ostby, and that is because Ostby has been developing. Ostby, though, was the best player we'd had coming in. Bergam has now topped him by a little bit. I think some of that has to do with the climb in division. As we get higher in division, the intake players are better. But are we going to climb in division anytime soon? I don't know about that. Based on what we've been seeing here lately, we're now looking at a situation where the opposition, one team in particular, is just better. And there's only one team that's going to see promotion. So with that in mind, Let's see what we can do here in the second half. 10 shots to 1. XG halfway towards the first goal. Let's see if we can make that happen, at least finish this thing off, even if it's just 1-0. Now, even though we had 10 shots in the first half, only 2 of those were on target. Let's see if we can do something better here. There's shot number 11, again, not on target as it's easily blocked. They are parking the bus on us a little bit. Deep throw, Matheson, Calzi inside, blasts that one really high. Lavas is having a bad day. Ostby, had a chance to go up top, but chooses not to. That one's deflected, but Lovas recovers it anyway. Ostby inside to Matheson, outside to Al. There's a nice overlapping pass, Norheim. Al, with the header. Free header. Can't get much purchase on it. I'm not entirely sure whether he was trying to shoot or if he was trying to go back across the goal to a teammate. Norheim finds some space. Again, lays it off for Ostby. There's Al. Yet again, this time definitely heading for the goal. And XG keeps on coming. But the goals aren't. Lovas is having a bad day. Let's bring on Snellingen. Norheim Cham's having a bad day. Let's bring on Acerod, who has a similar style, but isn't quite as good, surprisingly. All right, we'll do those 2 for now, and we're going to go a little more attacking. They just got their second shot of the entire match. There's always a risk. There's always a risk when you try to do more, but Lavas chips the keeper, scrapes it under the bar. It's in. It's a goal. It might have been offside. I wonder. Definitely offside. Definitely offside. We've retreated, and we are just onside. Lovas, excellent first touch. Excellent chip. I don't think that actually scraped the corner. Scraped the bar. I think it went just underneath it. The goal's good. And we don't need to go more attacking now. Lovas gets that goal just before getting subbed off. Current results, live standings, bump us up into 3rd. Somewhere more along the lines of where we should be at this phase in the season. Let's turn over there. Bergam. Acerod on the overlap. Acerod into space. Lays it off for Ostby. Matheson. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's blocked. Acerod. Flashes that across goal, but they get to it first. That layoff doesn't work. And we turn it over. 85th minute. Time wasting. Bring it on. Let's hope we can recover here because they definitely had a chance on that one. That was their best chance of the entire game. I'm going to go cautious. Don't want too many players coming forward. Wide open. Seriously. Back to attacking. They've done nothing all game. All game. They get one little half chance, but they get a corner kick out of it, and then we do not leave the box for one thing. I still had half my team in the box when they should have been pushing up and beyond the box. So there's one major shortcoming, and then the second shortcoming is they had ball, and we don't mark anyone. Ow, nice ball across. Bergam recovers. Calzi, it's blocked. Al, second chance. Acerod. Too late for a sub or anything like that. Last ball over the top. Too ambitious. Doesn't get there. That's going to do it. Ostby, nice recovery. One more chance. Bergam. I thought he had Lovas or Snellingen on the... I thought he had Snellingen there, but instead he passed outside. And there it is. 1 point. Today, you could say we are unlucky because we got exactly what we deserved. They, with almost nothing in XG. I mean, you can see second half, there's that one little half chance, and then the following clearance from the corner that just landed perfectly for them, and we did not cover well. And that was the difference today. The difference being we have to share the points instead of taking home comfortably what should have been 3 points. But it goes to show it is tighter. Even though we were in control that whole match, we still only got 1.04 on XG. As dominant as we were, we barely got 1 on the XG. the goal we got was the goal we deserved. The goal we gave up was not what we deserved, but mistakes happen. And we do have some weaknesses in our defense, and it is bound to occur. We might control the midfield play. We might limit their chances, but other teams can take advantage of the small chances they get when we have a few weaknesses in a defense. With that, we remain in 5th place on 8 matches played, 1 point out of 3rd. We still have games in hand on most of the league, well, at least more than half of the league. There's already teams that have played 11 or 12 matches, 10 matches in some cases. The problem to watch out for, though, Kongsvinger, 25 points from 10 played. They've only dropped 5 points so far. They look difficult. 1 loss, 1 draw, and 8 wins. Yeah, they're scary good. All right, so quick check-in on those finances. We are $250,000 in debt currently, and of course we have added on that $750,000 loan, which means overall the team is $1 million in the red in terms of debt and cash on hand. It's not good. It's not looking good on that part, and it's not looking like we have any way to rectify that right now. We're losing players for just $100,000. And we've had 2 months this year where we lost $100,000 in just that month. In fact, just above that. And we're not actually even bringing in $100,000 per player. It's deals that could eventually rise to $100,000, but it's deals that have been $40,000 to $60,000. It's a little worrying that right now things are going to continue going the wrong direction. Also, right now, training facilities are still locked in at a 1. And we are kind of locked in on the division we're in, at least for this year. Now, if this one team that's significantly better than everybody else, if they gain promotion and they get out of this division, next year looks more like a possibility that we could do something. We train up a little bit. We make a little bit of progress. We have another quality intake with 1 or 2 key players like we had this year. Again, being in that higher year, we're starting to get slightly better players in terms of current abilities. So maybe, just maybe, I can get us out of this division next season. But where do we go from there? How is that going to fix anything? Next division up? Okay, progress. Yay. 1 more rung up the ladder. But what's that going to do? What's that going to fix financially? We still have no income. We're still locked in the way we are, and then we're just even more mid-table. Do teams suddenly become more willing to pay us? Probably not. Does that get us to professional? Maybe. And maybe that changes things, training 5 days a week, and then we start making progress. That could be something. That leads to more financial burden. But if it leads to better development, we can sell players for more money, which then could maybe get us out of debt. But I just don't, I see this continuing to spiral down. It's a downward spiral, at least right now, which was why I posed the question 48 hours ago. I posed that question of, should I offer the team a cash injection? The answer was pretty much no. Almost 50% said no. More than 50% did say that yes, we should take on a cash injection, which means I will not table the idea for long. For now, the majority vote was no cash injection. So, okay, fine. No cash injection right now. There's still a couple ways out of this. 1, team takes on another loan at some point. We, as I just said, we inch our way up into the next division. Maybe at some point that's where the club starts to go, hey, we should be professional. We have all these young players. We need to develop them and try to turn professional. So maybe something can happen there. That doesn't seem likely because of our financial situation, but you never know. Right at the end of season 2, with our very first promotion, they decided to go from amateur to semi-pro long before the other teams around us were semi-pro. Of course, now all but 1 team in our current division is semi-pro. In fact, that's out of the 2 divisions. That's all 29 teams. But none of them are fully professional. Well, not that we know of. One of them might be. Right, that one team that's dominating, they could be fully professional. I haven't checked specifically. But anyway, I don't see us gaining massive new sponsorships that's going to fix anything. Nothing near on the horizon suggests that we are going to bring in the money we need to turn this thing around. I thought selling some players would do it. But right now the board is in a bad enough financial state that they're accepting $100,000 per deal. And when you sell one or two guys a year at $100,000, but you're losing a lot more than that, doesn't work out. The worrying part is those months here where we are losing $100,000 each month, but losing $40,000 still hurts a lot. Helps stretch it though, right? That's 2.5 months of losses compared to those 2 crazy months we had. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see what that does to us. But if we're losing, $300,000 to $400,000 per year right now, that's a lot to make up by selling players, especially when they only want our best players. They only want our players that have contributed and have potential. It's hard to climb the ladder like that. But for now, no cash injection, though there was plenty that wanted it. So we'll get into next season before I bring it up again. We'll see where we're at financially at that point, and see if that becomes a better option for us. The only other way out of this mess that I see is some sort of takeover. Club is taken over, new owners come in place, relieve the debt, inject some money, and get us started. How long does that take? I have no idea. I'm not going to stall in this tier for too long. If we are still here a couple years from now, with or without help, with or without the permission, I will inject cash eventually. But I'd still like to do it with your permission. Yeah, you were part of this series too. Anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time as we continue on with this journey. I think we'll kind of fly through this season because A, there's one team that is very, very dominant, and it's not us. And B, there's only one team promoted, and it's going to be that dominant team and not us. And otherwise, nothing is changing within this season other than that we're going to actually stay put for a change. Next season, I like our prospects a little bit more as long as that team doesn't bottle it in the final, unless they are drawn into the other division next year, which that's a different ballgame. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.